I don't think, okay, I thought when I was doing the codes, it looked like it would start in January and really step up in March.
Oh, okay.
And because it was going to be after the holidays.
Oh, all right.
The only ones who ever really plan to do anything to America in December is the Russians. Because I know all the Americans are busy planning for Christmas holidays.
Oh, I see.
And so their attention's totally just at home and shopping and holidays.
Oh, wow.
And so that was always their plan. If they were ever going to strike America, they would do it in December. When nobody expects it, nobody's
when nobody's even thinking. They're all thinking turkey and presents.
But as far as our government, whenever they plan on destroying us, it's usually not around the holiday.
They don't want to mess up their holiday.
Yeah, they don't. So usually the dominant months are March and July and September.
Aha.
Those are the dominant months. I remember 2 years ago when I was sounding the alarms on Miami being hit by a nuke bomb. Because what they wanted to do was blow up Miami and then blame the Syrians so they could go in and bomb Damascus.
Oh, okay. Yeah, you know, I remember hearing something about that in reverse.
Yeah, I was sounding alarms on that 2 years ago. And I was hearing from people that lived in Miami that there was stuff going on down there at the nuclear facilities. There was all kinds of activity. There's all kinds of bases down there. And so there was something going on.
Right.
But you don't hear about it in the mainstream press.
Oh, well, no, never.
No, so everybody always thinks I'm just nuts. But I get these verifications and confirmations all the time.
Yes.
And I just don't post them. You know,
I'm
not out to be right. You know what I mean? It's like, here, I was right. I'm not out to be right. I'm just having to wake people up and inform them. They can think of me what they want.
Yeah.
You know,
I agree.
I don't have time, you know, to sit here and say, here, I was right when I did this and I was right. You know, I don't have time for that. No. I'm not into self-gloating or anything.
Well, that just gets into the ego, and then that's not what we're about here.
Yeah, I mean, I just don't have the time. People can see for themselves and find it that I was exactly right. I know every year for July I've posted UFO appearances and invasions over the Capitol. Every year, and people were sending me files, video clips of UFOs over D.C. just in last December and July. But there is going to be a dominant invasion one of these days. These are just practice runs on their part.
Yeah.
When they show up, because D.C. is basically empty in July. The Congress is gone. They're all home. So it's basically just a ghost town.
Yes. Yeah.
But one of these days, I mean, July is a dominant month for this Maitri or Sananda, whoever it's going to be, that's going to arise.
And this is this is out of the New Age. Is that what you're saying?
This is the New Age camp.
Okay.
They're going to make their move. Well, we're seeing it now is what, March and May and July. The early spring months are always this New Age camp-dominated months. Because what we're catching on the reverse speech, I think, is their reaction to what they're doing. Because our whole government is reptilian.
Yes.
And so these New Agers, this whole New Age camp, the Tall Grays of Sananda and Maitreya and Germain, they're all Tall Grays. They're all part of the New Age camp. They want to overthrow the reptilians and take over our government here.
I see.
Yeah, and so I've been for a long time talking about NESARA. I don't know if you're familiar with their political agenda.
I've heard all those names.
Yeah. And so that's their economic program that they want to run here in America and eventually rule the whole world through their economic program called NESARA. And so that's what they want to implement here, have Bush and his gang arrested, have them thrown out of office, and then establish their own NESARA program here and their own leaders here. And so it's a big fight behind the scenes between the two factions, the New Age and the New World Order. And Satan runs them both.
yeah, sure. Yes.
He runs them both.
Yes.
So they're just fighting out to see which one of them gets to run it. Because there are different factions underneath him. He sits at the top. He doesn't care.
No.
He doesn't care who gets into power as long as he gets to power.
Well, yeah, there's no loyalty within the race that is aligned with Satan. I know that because I hear this all the time. And
there's no loyalty among any. They'd kill each other over the slightest chance to move up, or to have a little bit more power.
Yeah.
At least all these governments in the world got together in cahoots and decided, we're going to implement a one world government. But they never decided who was going to get to run it. They're all fighting to see who gets to run it.
Well, that's true. They do a lot of infighting.
Yeah, and the thing is, none of them are going to get to run it, which is what I just sit back and laugh at. They all, America thinks they're going to be the top dog. Britain thinks they control America. They're going to be the top dog. Israel thinks they own everybody, and they're laughing, thinking they're going to, it just goes on and on and on. everybody thinks they own everybody else.
Surprise, surprise.
Yeah. Yeah, and when Satan comes with his forces, his minions, his armies from space, he doesn't need human armies here. He doesn't need human people running the government. He's going to replace them all. And that's like the last laugh, I guess you could say. It'll be like the only justice all these people are going to get, that are going to find themselves victims of everything that's coming down. Because we're the victims, we're the pawns.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, this planet.
Yeah, every person on this planet becomes a victim of their charades, of their games. And I know in the codes I'll see a lot of time in references to chess. Chessboard, we're pawns.
Yes.
You know, and you'll see game and card player and chess. And I just started picking up the own terminology myself from seeing in the codes. Kind of funny. I always refer to it as a deck of cards, a game of cards, and chess, pawns.
Well, you know, I've gotten that in the reversals. Let me see. Of course, now I'm not going to find out a really clear one. Whereas I can't even remember who said it, but it was, "Is thy pawn effective?" And you know, it was one of the minions, you know, in the government, who, you know, is trying to be he's trying to be effective. And now I see that's what happens. Can't read and talk. But it was a good reversal. Is thy pawn effective? It's like, ay, people. But yeah, I've gotten a lot on Nibiru. Of course, I haven't heard that it's filled with tall grays or anybody else. I always hear that it's coming to shred the net.
Yeah, and, shred the net.
Yeah, that seems to be, you know, what is said in reverse. And I've gotten a lot on. I've got tons of stuff on Katrina, the bird flu. You know, and that was all about the meat. You know, getting meat.
I had an email from a listener that was hoping I would answer her questions tonight during the show.
Oh, sure.
And what she was asking me, what she's basically saying is there's still lots of missing bodies and children. Yes. Many families not able to get the bodies that were supposedly picked up or dropped off. It's all very, very, very strange. Especially bizarre is the fact the collection of bodies was done under contract by a company called Kenyan that is in fact known to have done all kinds of bizarre things. What it sounds like is that there's all these bodies that can't be located, can't be found, but they know are missing.
Right. Well, when I was very interested in all that, you know, right after Katrina, and I listened to the man who's head of FEMA at the time. Now
Michael Brown, I think it was, or Trudeau.
Yeah. And I can give you a couple of reversals from him. He is pretty out there. Why don't I just do that, and then you can hear what some of the things that I got. Okay?
Okay.
All right, here comes. He says, hang the beef now, girl in the soup.
Hang the beef now, girl in the soup. Hang the beef now, girl in the soup.
I'm going to turn this up a little bit.
Is he talking about the governor of Louisiana?
No, he's talking about this is the guy talking about Katrina. And he's talking about how, you know, they were, you know, a little bit remiss, but they're doing everything they can now to help get those people out. This was this is before he got, you know, bumped.
Yeah.
And the whole thing was contrived to collect meat. And when I say collect meat, I don't mean the physical bodies.
See, that's where I think that's where we pick up differently, because you talk about how they take their bodies when they're dead. They take the astral body.
Yes.
And I know they do that. I've seen it in the coast. I've seen where they have these imprisonments on Mars.
Right. Absolutely, yes.
I'm thinking they actually take the whole thing, too.
Well, you know,
the whole body gone.
I think you're right. I think they do both.
Yeah.
If the body is not too, you know, messed up, the physical body, or if they get it right away where